Wagwan, everybody. I am your Jamaican queen, Miss Y. You are tuned into How I See It TV, and this is a thought clip. So, y'all, this morning I am doing my regular morning routine where I wake up like around 5 and I get the day started. I iron, I get breakfast ready, I clean up if I have to, and I'm always listening to one of my favorite YouTubers, checking out their channel, giving them a like, leaving a comment, just engagement. And so this morning, I'm listening to Shop Reality, and she caught something good, y'all. And I'm not going to give everything away, but what she caught, I had to run over to Tisha's Instagram to see for myself. Now, I'm blocked on my regular account, so I used my mother-in-law's phone and took a picture of Letitia's post because for whatever reason I couldn't figure out how to do a screenshot with my mother-in-law's phone. But anyways, what Shop Reality caught was a post that Tisha made from the scene she did with Destiny where they brought up the Melometers. So if y'all watched Saturday's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, then you recall Destiny, she went to Tisha's house and they had a little sit down, a little kiki about Destiny and the Sunny situation with Moses. And then they talked about whether or not they were going to go to the live podcast event in Huntsville. And they both said that they were not going to go because the Melometers are going to be there. And the Melometers are just, a bunch of middle-aged, bitter women. And they didn't want to be in a space with any Melometers. But y'all, if you recall, the podcast event with the Melody, it was held on the 21st of January, right? So why did Tisha put in her post that the scene she shot with Destiny was a cute Valentine Day scene? That's what Tisha has in her post, if she hasn't taken it down by now. But yeah, she said that the scene was a cute Valentine Day scene, which would mean that this scene was shot after the live podcast event in Huntsville. Now, isn't that interesting, y'all? Now, Shop Reality, she brought up some great points about Carlos's live podcast events, and she put into context some dates. And I'm gonna have y'all, after my video is done, of course, go over to Shop Reality and listen to her video because she made some great points. Me, on the other hand, I am going to share my thoughts because I've had this theory in my head, just, dancing around in my brain ever since all those strikes happened to some of the YouTubers who actually went to the event and had posted videos from the event. And then when we found that the Melometers were going to kind of be like a storyline this season, this theory just stuck with me. And if y'all were in Trending at some point live review yesterday, then you'd have heard me voice my theory. But if you didn't, I'm going to say it now. So I believe that the live podcast event in Huntsville happened at the beginning of the filming season because they, meaning the producers, meaning Carlos King, in my opinion, knew that they were going to go on a Bash Melodies fan base campaign during the season. This is why Tisha can put in her caption that this was a cute Valentine scene, because in my mind the plot was that the producers were going to use the Carlos King podcast as a window for the cast to jump through to talk about the Melometers, because how else would they have been able to bring the Melometers up on camera without this event happening? They would look stupid. It would look like some hater like behavior to just bring up Melody's fan base out of nowhere. But because they knew that majority of the people who were going to be at that event would be Melody's fan base, it was easy for them to create a whole scene after the fact to talk about how much they dislike the Melometers. Are y'all following me? Does it make sense? Now, many of you should recall, but if you would pay attention to your screen right now, you'll see that they started advertising for the Black Expo in Atlanta around February 2nd. And we know once they started promoting it in the YouTube sphere, there was a lot of conversation, a lot of chatter about whether or not it was a scam, whether or not the event was happening, because there was not a lot of information. So even Carlos and Dr. Heavenly, they went on their Messy Monday podcast, and they talked about how allegedly some people were trash talking the expo and calling all over the place, trying to be messy. And he said that, if his raindrops were ever calling people's jobs, he would get them in line. Those weren't his exact words, but basically that's what he was saying. And a lot of us felt like he was shading Melody and the Melometers. So it makes sense, with all that in mind, that Tisha and Destiny would have been forced after the fact to do a scene talking about the Melometers, because all of this regarding the Black Expo and all the conversations surrounding the expo and whether or not it was a scam, all of that happened in February before Valentine's Day. And I'm sure that Letitia and Marsaw, they were in their feelings because of some of the conversations that was happening on YouTube about the expo. People were saying they went to the website, they tried to buy tickets, and it was like a whole mess. Everything just seemed like it was just being thrown together super quickly. There was no venue location being announced. So there was a lot of conversation about it. So I can imagine them being in their feelings, and Tisha was more than happy to use that scene to talk about her dislike for the Melometers. And that's how I see it, y'all. Tisha gave the timeline away when she made this post yesterday, saying that the scene that she did with Destiny was basically shot on Valentine's Day or around Valentine's Day. And it all seems like a scheme that Todd set up to come to us with the BS. It all seems like a scheme that Carlos and then producers set up, in my opinion, to come for Melody and the Melometers. It's starting to feel like this season is going to be an attack on Melody for two reasons. One, for making the decision to file a report against Martell for harassing her and threatening to release intimate images and videos of her, and two, the use of the Melometers to attack Melody and to have conflict with her. One, Melody cannot, and I will continue to say she cannot control grown people, and especially grown people who she does not know. Tisha, your mama is on Instagram and on YouTube every single day bad mouthing Melody, and we've never heard you come online publicly to say you don't condone anything that your mom is saying in any of these spaces. So why do you feel like Melody should rein in strangers? And Destiny, I'm going to talk about your statement in another video. But go check out Shop Reality's video. Her breakdown was more detailed and her commentary was amazing, and she asked some great questions. I will link her channel in my description box. Please remember to like this video, share the link to my channel, and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And drop a comment below so I know how you see things too. Until next time, walk good. Bye.